Hello, welcome to Line War. Today we have Valithor crossing the water with his starting lines versus Safwan, which is over here. He started over here. He's got two airfields to begin with. He's probably noticed it's going to be hard to get across the map, so he's using airfields to start, barracks to expand. It's interesting to note that they are on the same island. Valithor also has gone for two airfields. This is the fourth match, I believe, of the 22 Q2 tournament. And I probably should explain how this tournament's going to work. There was a group section before this. And before that, with that, I'm not going to cover those because I'm just going to cover the final matches. And there's also the losers round, which is going to come into play at the end, where the losers rounds can fight, and whoever wins that losing round, or losing tournament, will become part of the winning tournament later in the series. I'll probably explain it more when it becomes a change, when it actually changes the tournament a bit. But for now, we have strikers being built by Valithor, who I watched a replay of recently, to be fair, and I know he's a pretty good player, so I don't know if Safwan RD, to be honest. He's gone for energy early. I don't usually go for energy early, personally, because these guys are still being produced and you're not using your energy, so it's good to build it up. But generally speaking, you can live without it for a bit and you could spend your money elsewhere at the start of the game. I mean, Valithor is also building one, but he did wait a little longer to do so. Valithor does have a higher potential to capture land already because he's taken two islands. But one of these bigger islands is going to stop Safwan's expansion over here. Safwan is going for this area, and strangely, it might have been wise to try and cross the water, because he could have crossed here and set up a trade route earlier on. Being at the edge of the map, he might have not been noticed. It looks like Safwan tried to scout this island and has been met with strikers. They both know they've gone with air units. Valithor's definitely going for strikers. He's now targeting an energy well that he has spotted through the fog of war. Because although stuff like mountains give you stealth, energy wells and cities have anti-stealth is what I would call it. You can see them beyond the fog of war, because I guess they smoke and cities are really big. It looks like Safwan, instead of going offensive with his, he's gone for helicopters and interceptors to try and counter potential striker attacks. Which is quite interesting. I haven't seen people use interceptors that often in this. Not early on anyway, so that is a pretty good start to this. We have Valithor, who's gone early air, and Safwan, who's gone anti-air. He's already predicted his move and countered it. However, I don't know if one production of interceptors is going to beat two productions of strikers. However, it looks, I don't know, was that a death command he was going to do? I don't know. I think he's a bit undecided on whether he's going to keep his strikers or switch into something else. Or maybe it was just a misclick. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. He's got commando lines set up, so when a commando's built, it's going to follow this line, which is an arrow command. He's not going to capture any territory. He's just trying to scout the area. He knows Safwan's here, and he's going to try and take out this. I think going through this little choke point might be a bit too much to ask for. But if it happens, that's always a good thing. Take your chances where you can. But what is he doing with these strikers? They've landed again? I didn't see where they went. I don't think they went anywhere. So Valithor has captured this land down here, or is going to soon. And it doesn't look like anyone's switching into Navy yet, partly because of economy. No one started with it, so it's going to be harder for them to do so. But Safwan has a pretty big bulk army coming up through here. Infantry army. He's backed it up with some artillery. I think he's expecting to find Safwan here. So he's trying to make sure he's prepared for that. He's taken his helicopters away after seeing the strikers come in. He's taken the helicopters off. He is building two interceptors now at a time. The strikers are coming in. The problem with interceptors, though, is they take a little while to get off the ground. But Safwan has now spotted this. He's going to take out the energy. I'm going to look at it from the other side, because if that gets destroyed, then he's going to have no storage for this energy, and it's just going to disappear. Now he's only got 6 energy to use to fight in this fight. And he's going to have to back that up, otherwise these interceptors are going to be completely useless after this. That was a good move by Valithor. He got in there and took them out before the interceptors could get off the ground. It was only on the retreat that he was fired upon, really, so... Now, Safwan really has to try and find a different place for his energy. If he does that again there, he's going to need his air units in the air to defend it at all times. So he might want to try and build one there for now, defend it, and then get some power plants ready somewhere else. And what is Valithor going to do? At this point, if I was Valithor, I'd definitely be targeting these airfields while you potentially have them grounded. He's going for the production of SAM units there. That's not a bad move either. To be fair, probably quite a good move considering they don't require energy, so they are going to be a potential threat. Those commandos are not going to get through. That poor guy just stood there right in the middle. But Valithor is not worried too much about this force coming in here. He's still going to keep trying to expand. He hasn't changed too much of what's going on here. He has considered it a threat and got his commandos to stick back. And he's got his strikers coming in to take them out. And I don't think those strikers are going to take long to get rid of this army up here. He's using this land here. Also had an energy well, so he's built his energy in the water as well. Which could be a bit risky if Navy comes into play. Unless it's Valithor that goes for it first. But I don't think Collier has any SAM units in this area, so these are going to be completely unprotected. He hasn't got any energy backup yet. So his interceptors can't even help in this situation. Those strikers are just going to tear them up and go home without taking any damage. And the infantry won't last long against them, as well as being backed up by these. It looks like Valithor's put his units on retreat to let the strikers deal the most damage and take them out when they're weaker. What is Safwan doing in this? He doesn't seem to be reacting to this at all. He still seems to want to just take this territory at all costs. He has sent some units to come down here, particularly the artillery. But there isn't really much he can do in this situation. He's got his SAM units coming up now. SAM unit, sorry. He is protecting this area with SAM as well. That's not a bad choice. But it is leaving him exposed up here. And that is the problem with strikers versus SAM. Strikers can just move around them. And the SAM are quite slow. Sorry for the dogs if you can hear them. It looks like they're going to get pushed quite well there. And there's the first naval yard there. We've got Safwan Valithor pretty much maximizing his potential at this point. Nearly done. He does need to expand by sea at this point, so he is doing the right thing there. It doesn't look like Safwan has any plans to take new territory, but he has got his energy supply back online. Those interceptors could help in this situation up in there. But I don't think he wants to leave this area right now. I actually don't think they've got the range for that. I can't see the range. Nope. It looks like he's going to lose all visibility in this area soon, and Valithor will be able to take more territory, not just for himself, but away from Safwan. So let's have a look at the economy at this point. Valithor has 660 per minute, and Safwan is 400, and is going to lose some very soon. And it looks like he's put his air units on assault here, try and take out the strikers when they come back. Which isn't a bad move, but it looks like Valithor planned that and has defended them against his air units. Probably from the helicopters that assaulted in the beginning. So unfortunately those interceptors didn't do the damage they were expecting, but they did surprise Valithor a little bit, I think. Not that Valithor needed to really respond to that. He was prepared for it already. Valithor has his commandos going up through the mountains, which will give them style. So Safwan can't see what his units are going to walk straight into here. He could hear them, but even Safwan wouldn't be able to know where that's coming from. And it looks like he's got a group of commandos here. I think they're just building up for now, but maybe he plans to build some anti-air. Not anti-air, the transport ships. And those strikers are getting taken out before they can do the damage. But Valithor did retreat before that became too much of a problem. And those commanders are dealing with them without any issues whatsoever. What is he doing with his ships over here? He's got a transport ready to take him anywhere he wants. And he's going to focus on capturing the territory of the water first. Which I probably want to do with other units like this missile ship that's coming out. And they're going straight across here. I thought this line was this one, but it's not. It's this. He's going to get the energy well there. I think that's his priority. Anyway, let's go back over here, see what's going on. Commando's won this engagement up there. He's going to take that territory, which is going to be a bigger problem for Safwan because he's now losing territory. He has built his own navy yard there, but I don't think he's got the economy to support it. And if he does still, he won't soon. There we go, it's going in the negatives. But in this situation, there's not much he can do about it. The best thing to do is not get in this situation in the first place. But Valithor is taking his time. He is happy to wait this out. I think he knows he's got the advantage here. He's got a fair amount of cash ready. That might even be wise to set up a barracks here just for extra visibility. Maybe not even a barracks, maybe another airfield or whatever you want to do. He is actually using his strikers to take out the SAM units without knowing exactly how many is coming up, but I'm pretty sure that is quite a lot of SAM units to go for these strikers. But to be fair, he does have quite a lot of strikers. He's called it off, you can see how many is there. They're coming back in, he's decided not to do that. He thinks it'd take too many losses for that. It wouldn't be worth the attack. And these units are just casually sat there waiting for a transport to come over to take this land, I think. And the SAM units there are being engaged by infantry. The artillery's coming in as backup. The commandos are coming down now. They've taken out all the territory from Safwan up here. And now their next engagement is with SAM units. And what else has Safwan got in the area? He's got some anti-air. I think that's just for extra damage, considering they're not going to be taking that much damage from this ground force, because there is no anti-air here. I think Safwan's expecting... No, Valithor's expecting the helicopters. He retreated his artillery out of the way. And to be fair, I don't think Valithor has much in the way of anti-air. However, he is taking advantage that the Interceptors are way out of position. And he's going to try and do a hit and run, knowing these SAM units were there last time. He's going to take out that factory really quickly in just one run. Not all units even got there. So he has the ability to take out structures without having to worry too much about being in the area too long. That is a well-formatted... commandos in good formation there, just strolling through the fields. And he can't see any of them. Now he can see one. He doesn't know what's coming towards him yet, though. I don't know if Valithor plans to follow that up with anything, or if he's just going to try and scout out more of what's going on there. He's got his strikers coming in now. My phone's going off. I can't find it. There it is. So he's got his strikers coming in now. The commandos are pushing forward. Some artillery are sneaking through there, but I don't think they'll last much longer. And is Safwan going to bring his interceptors in? He is. He's noticed the strikers coming in there. And Safwan has now decided that he wants to expand. He's going to ignore this territory here, which would be a good territory to set up for economy. But I do think it might be a little late for him to do that. He's going to struggle to hold this area in later on in the game. But he's trying to take over this area. He's trying to invade Valithor's land over there. He's now dedicating most of his force up here down towards this way. They're all getting backed up as well. Valithor has set up a good lot of production over here. And he can also see the naval yard there. He's set up a strike team to take this out. And he's going to leave some behind, knowing that his force will probably take this out pretty quickly. So some are going to stay behind as well, if they can take enough damage. But Valithor can't see this area at all. He might see it when it starts disappearing. I can't remember. But it's going to start disappearing soon. Those strikers are coming in now. There they go. They're going to take that out. His interceptors are completely passing those strikers and going in the wrong direction. Some of these should stay behind, but I think they all got linked to the first command. And all of Safwan's anti-air is up in this area, fighting a ground army, while the strikers are now taking advantage that they are out of position. But it might be quite difficult to take this area with the strikers at this point, so it might be worth the risk. But Valithor can't really see what's going on down there, so he doesn't know what that risk is. And they've spotted the transports. But he did drop off the commandos. They're sneaking through and trying to get in the back of him. That is not a bad move. So instead of using the aircraft to transport them, he's taken them by boat. But the boat was spotted, and Valithor is trying to find out what was sent there. As soon as he sees nothing's there, he's probably going to figure out that there was commandos. I don't know if he's going to spot any. No, I think Safwan has gotten away with his commandos if Valithor doesn't figure that out. Anyway, over here it looks like the ground army from Safwan has pretty much been annihilated. He does keep withdrawing his SAM units, keep pulling them back, but the interceptors here are not doing enough damage to the ground force to make it worth his while. He really needs to try and maybe set up some defenses with his interceptors, make sure they're on the ground. Safwan has also got Valithor's forces on the island over here as well to deal with now. They are also being transported over. Missile ships are going to come into play. They're going to try and take out the Navy yard there, but they're also going to be focused, mostly good for taking out the interceptors. I think Valithor might actually take this out with his strikers alone. I don't think Safwan's going to try and... Well, he probably will try. I don't think he's going to successfully stop this. He's certainly not going to successfully stop this anytime soon. Anyway, we'll play the rest of the match. It's nearly over. I'm pretty sure that Valithor has won this, though interesting things are still happening. Thank you for watching. There is a video on screen anytime soon, and I'll see you there.